RK Singh is the Union Minister for Power. He's a member of parliament from Bihar, comes from Ara, understands the politics and the governance of the state. You now have Nitish Kumar and the Janata Dal United saying you are trying to do an Eknath Shinde on them. Through RCP Singh, you are trying to break the Janata Dal United MLAs. And what Nitish Kumar has done is, in a preemptive strike, he's moved away. You couldn't do to Nitish what you did to Uddhav Thackeray. Nitish Kumar thinks it's a big victory for him.
Rahul, you know, all these stories are totally bogus. What I think is behind, you see, the first thing which Mr. Nitish Kumar needs to answer is that I think, you know, I have never seen any other case of Aya Ram, Gaya Ram so many times. You know, he was with RJD, then he came to the BJP, then again he went back to the RJD, then he again came to the BJP, and now he's again got back to the RJD. Have you seen any other case of Aya Ram, Gaya Ram so many times? I'm asking you, Rahul. So
no, we haven't. It happened in Haryana, where the idea Rahul, of Aya Ram, Gaya Ram comes from, but even there it happened only thrice and not as often as Nitish Kumar, which is now the 5th time he switched sides. But when he came to you, you embraced him.
And you know, and he claims to be doing principled politics. I don't see any principle anywhere. His politics is all entirely about the kursi, about the chair. You know, that's why many people in Bihar call him Kursi Kumar. And in fact, even Mr. Lalu Prasad said that he is Mr. Paltu Kumar. So basically, that is the question he has to answer. I have never seen a worse case of politics without principle and politics only for power. This is a glaring example of that. This is not the first time. I mean, he is sort of you know, and I'm quite certain that the RJD also cannot be certain as to how long he'll stay with them. And there are many questions. How long will Tejasvi work under him? For how many years? And will Nitish Kumar work as per the dictates of the RJD?
No, but the scenario that the opposition is building, Deva Gowda tweeted about it, the former Prime Minister, talking about the Janta Parivar coming together to throw up a Prime Minister like they did in the past.
Is a problem.
This idea that Nitish Kumar could potentially be a Hindi-speaking challenger to Prime Minister Modi, with name recall across the Hindi heartland states and across the country, coming together as a fulcrum where all the Janta Parivar and Congress rally around him as a challenger to Prime Minister Modi in 2024. Does that look like an imposing challenge to you?
This is Rahul. This is a pipe dream. I call it as a pipe dream. You see, if he's only got 45 seats there, and imagine with just 45 seats, he is the chief minister, whereas those parties with 75 and 77 seats and 79 seats, they are junior partners. Now, that is the sort of the ridiculous state of affairs that is like the tail wagging the dog. Basically, if he fights alone, Nitish Kumar will not even win 5 seats. That's my challenge. So, for somebody who can't even win 5 seats, fighting alone in Bihar, for him to dream of leading the nation, I think is ridiculous.